What's poppin'? Welcome back to another episode of Crazy.
Sexy.
Cool.
Remember to like and subscribe. We need those subscribers up. I don't want to feel like I'm begging, but I am. No, I'm just kidding.
Get us there.
Subscribe, okay? Where y'all at? What's up? We see y'all, the ones that are subscribing, but we
5K.
need some more. What's up,
Trying
y'all?
to get to 5K.
We gonna get there. Look, we gonna get
there and beyond.
We gotta be patient. It's gonna
We
get
ain't
there,
even been
y'all.
out long. We doing good
Yeah,
though.
we're doing amazing.
We are.
I'm proud of us.
I'm
No
proud
shade.
of us.
And I'm proud of y'all for
We-
supporting us.
Bitch, we sitting here actually doing it. Y'all know
Yeah.
it's hard to get a 50 to stick through.
What?
But we are sticking.
What? It's
But
all
y'all
about
gotta be-
consistency, honey. Like,
But
you
y'all
gotta-
gotta be honest.
Consistency.
Like this kind of like I look forward to this.
I do
every
too.
weekend.
I do
Oh
too.
my God.
It's so fun hanging out with each other.
It is.
Literally.
It is. It's good. Let's always keep it fun.
And all
With
this, a
a little bit of kiki shit.
little bit crazy
And sexy.
and
Sexy.
cool.
Cool. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. So listen, I know y'all heard already say it, but there's also a bell. I got it right this time on the right side of the screen. Hit that bell so you can be notified of every time that we go live or we drop our new episode every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. You won't want to miss it, so click that bell, like, subscribe, and share. Anyway, my weekend was okay. Like, I'm still going through a lot, but, you know, I'm pressing through, and showing up here shows, like, my commitment to being the best version of myself in spite of everything. And I've been through a lot within the last couple of months. And, you know, as I continue to go after my dreams and go for what I want in life, I anticipate that there will be other trials, but these trials that I'm dealing with now, loss, betrayal, hurt, all those things come with the territory. So, I mean, as we continue to grow, I'll continue to heal and move forward and continue to press towards my mark. How was your week?
I first want to say I'm so proud of you for even being here and taking the time. And I know personally you're going through a lot. So I'm just really proud of you. Doing me your big one.
I love you, sis. Tell me, how was your time? How was your week?
My week, honestly, was just regular. It was regular for me. Just, you know, getting ready, getting prepared. Testing is coming up soon, so just studying.
Oh, God, yeah, how you doing in school?
It's going good so far. It's actually, it's kind of easy.
Okay.
Like, because it's like I don't look too deep into stuff. No, I used to overthink in school. I don't overthink no more.
I think the key is
The answer is literally right in front of your face. It is.
Okay. I think I'm really cool, like not really cool. Let me not say that. I like my professors. My professors are so cool, so it makes class interesting.
I ain't have nice ones. They
Yours is
stirred. No, they
stirred?
stirred. It's cool though.
Okay.
My weekend was cool. It was kind of, well, I was doing a lot of running around, like I said, you know, like fittings and stuff and getting prepared for Atlanta as well. And also, right now I'm in the stages of, I kind of like stepped out on faith and I left my job. And so I want another job, but I know I have something. I have something like, no. So I mean like, no, because you know, I do have a job coming up in a couple of months. So I was like really, really sick of my job. It was draining me. I was working at a clinic and I just like, I'm a person who is like affected by their surroundings. Like, you know, and it was just so like sad, like seeing people come in like sick and stuff like that. Like I just didn't want to do that anymore. And I mean, it's okay because I've been able to survive, you know, and then, you know, I'm getting paid for different things. Like, you know, I have a booking, we have the booking in Atlanta and stuff. So, yeah, I was just like, you know, chilling and trying to think what I want to do for the next couple of months. So if you have any good jobs out there, I'm your woman.
But Atlanta was fab.
Yeah, Atlanta is going to be
It was
fab.
fab. That was a good booking. I love it.
Yeah, that is gonna be great. So I'm just thinking like, what do I want to do for the time being? Because I don't want to go into anything too deep. Because once I start working this other job in a couple of months, I'm just going to do something temporary. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What we appreciating this week?
Okay, right. Let's talk about the trans women who we are celebrating our Trans Women of the Week. Our Trans Women of the Week is another Black trans woman who had another syndicated show, Orange is the New Black. So we're going to shout out Laverne Cox for breaking barriers and being a representation of our women in film. Continue, and she just had a spread, right?
In Vogue.
In Vogue with Oprah.
Work, Laverne.
Huge.
Yes.
So thanks, Laverne, for your representation and for continuing to be out there representing us.
She stays kicking doors down.
What? Every other week, she's giving us a
she's
different
walking
look.
through
She's walking through gracefully too.
gracefully.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
And we're gonna highlight one of the founding mothers of Ballroom. Our next trans woman of the week is La Duchess Wong.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
That's a gem for Ballroom. Protect her at all costs.
yeah.
Duchess LaWan is one of the founding mothers, like, you know, that kind of created space for Ballroom to cultivate and be such this phenomenon it is. Like, so shouts to you, La Duchess Wong, and I know I'm saying it right. Most people say La Wong, but it's La Duchess Wong.
Okay, word.
So yeah. But I know that we have an audience question that we're gonna answer, right? And I know you are itching to have it.
What is the question?
Can we just have a drink before? Because we definitely gonna need one.
Let's toast,
What is the, I
ladies.
don't, y'all
Let's
didn't
toast.
ask me the question.
Let's toast.
Let's toast
Let's
to
toast.
generations.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Generations.
Generations.
It's so many generations.
Oh, this one is good today. So yeah, I want to get into that question because I know it's a question
What's the
that
question?
Asia brings up a lot. So one of the audience members asks, do we think, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, like, why does the younger generation feel like the older generation can't take them? Like, where does that come from? Did that question come out right?
Yeah, that's actually perfect. That's a lot. You want to tap in?
What the question is, why do they think? Because like,
Because I think it's a them thing.
Starting already, start your shit.
For me, I think it's an exhausting conversation because not every younger person has that experience with the older girl, and that's been factual because we're intergenerational here. We've had some young femme queens come through here, so that can't possibly be the overall
Are you taking that
feeling.
personal? Are you making it?
No,
about
I'm not.
you?
See, it's not about personal. I'm generalizing it because I know for a fact that there are younger film queens who I've come in contact with, who I've supported, who felt fully supported by me and not feel like I can't take them. And I think that's sometimes it'd be a projection thing. Like sometimes it could be, I don't want to speak for the youth, but I know for me personally, it's an exhausting conversation that further divides us and makes us look at each other in these like lens of competition. And that's where all of that off the floor stuff come at, because this is your generation and that generation. My whole thing is like, you cannot remove like history like that. You can't push people out. But also, if you're not pouring into the younger girls, it may not be that you're bitter. Maybe you just don't have it to give to them. And they're seeing it as though, oh, well, she's being shady. Maybe you just don't have the faculty to do that or the range to do that. But I think it's going to a point where we don't even ask that. It's just, oh, y'all can't take me.
Yeah,
or if you
it's
tell
too-
them something, it's like, oh, girl, times has changed. Ain't nobody doing that no more. Because
wanna bring
Asia
it.
is waiting to pounce, darling. She's
Go
like,
ahead, Asia. Go ahead, because I forgot what I was going to say
See,
now.
I feel I'm with you guys. But I don't think I think it's a conversation that we need to have because I think they have it in their head. Younger generations, they have it in their head that it's that, like, it's you can't take. And no, I'm just being me and I'm trying to teach you and things that may even be able to help you. And it's like, you can't take. I never took at anyone older than me. I thought it was like, I needed these tools. Like, thank you. Even if it wasn't for me, I still took it with respect. I was like, hey, this is, whether I like to hear this or I don't, or whether I need this or I don't feel like this, I'm still going to respect that they have the respect to come to me and talk.
Yeah, that's not to say that there's not
respect.
older shady girls, because there are some
course.
girls that are shady. But I think it's just too broad of a statement to say. Like, you can't just say that the older girls can't take you. You may have experienced that. I mean, because I can go back to when I was a younger girl, and I did feel like I had the experience of, you know, I was just having this conversation with somebody where it was like, oh, you had girls that, you know, taught you the ropes or whatever, or gave you certain tools, and then when you used them and you became good at them or whatever, sometimes it caused some type of conflict. Like, and I've experienced that and didn't know what it was at times. Sometimes, like, you know, and so maybe it was something that I was doing in that situation, maybe not. But I can understand how sometimes a girl may feel like an older girl, but like you said, that older girl may not have the tools to pour into those type of relationships, or you never know. At that point, she might just be like, "Child, I'm over. Like, I've been through so much shit. Like, you can't take it personal."
Right. Doesn't she have the right to her piece and just say, I just don't have for this right now?
Yeah.
Like, when does not having for it or not being able to do it makes you like such this bad person?
So let's get rid of that phrase, "can't take you," honey, because
Right.
I don't think that's what it is.
We can say that, but I think it's important we keep having these conversations. I
'Cause,
do.
okay, and
because
this
they need
is-
to hear this thing, but you also need to hear them. I think everyone needs to hear each other with respect, and I think we're not hearing that enough. We're not hearing these type of conversations to say no. It has nothing to do with that.
But you're the same person who thinks that things should just be ran in a hierarchy. And how do you do that if you're not listening? And you understand what I'm saying? It's so many
What
different.
do you mean town hall?
It's so
Again,
many
like
different.
everybody
No,
try
right
to
there you
merge
go
the
with that
gap.
damn
It's like,
town hall
pay
again.
attention, no, because you're not doing it. It has nothing to do with.
But I think it's
to have a
important that-
conversation and
no.
learning from each other. You can definitely
Right.
put leaders
So
authorities,
listen.
mothers. All of this is for. What I'm talking about when I say that. I'm talking about is definitely needs to, because only the older generation can understand what it was supposed to be
I'm just
and where it
joking
came
with
from.
you.
Okay.
I agree.
I'm
But
just
what I
joking
will
with
say, no, I am joking. But I
Which
just wondered
part?
about her saying like, oh, the older people have to do, you know, like
It's not
only
that they
the
have
icons
to.
and only this.
I think
and,
they should.
You
This
know,
is not
I do,
have
but I
to.
do think that you know we should like people should hear the voices of the youth. For example,
Absolutely.
like
Definitely town hall.
like when we talk about when we had the older generation of girls and felt like they can't take. I don't know. I've never really had that experience.
Me either.
I've come up under like Letitia, you know, Revlon, but I've never felt like it was a thing where she couldn't take me or I couldn't take her. And Jessica Elite, like I was talking to one of my friends earlier, was like one of the first girls to show me the ropes and Sally's. So it was like, it was never a thing where I felt you couldn't take. I just kind of just needed somebody to guide me. And these women were there. And they've always been there. Like, you know, rest in peace, Jessica. But like, there's
Sometimes
those type of
these women are trying to
relationships.
find themselves. Like, you know, you know, it just changes. Like, it just depends where a person is at in their life. And I don't think that, you know, I think that the cockiness comes from when a young girl be like, oh, she can't take me, and you have no idea what this older woman is going through or whatever. That is maybe where the conflict comes in sometimes. If you're already giving off thinking that someone can't take you and you don't know what, you're not trying to find out what it is or anything like that, then that's where
why I
the
said
problem
it's
comes.
projection.
It's that internal. Yeah, it's internal. And I think as individuals, I think it's like it is some nice people out there. They're not nice, but I think that's
there are some.
It has
You're right.
nothing-
It's
'cause
individual.
I'm
But
like, great-
ageism
I
plays a
met
big
great
part too.
older girls.
Ageism, like, you know, the young girls be like, "But you're old." Like,
I
they
just
be
take that as a key. Like, I don't. To me, when I say that, I don't. If it's disrespectful, those are not things that I'm coming off of when I say that. But I'm saying I look at it as with respect. You still here when it's like.
But the
you know what I'm
girls do it
saying?
with a read. Like, that's the first thing a younger girl says to an older girl is they start using ageism, or they start, like, the joke becomes about the older girl's age. When really, in reality, in these times, we all know that it is a blessing
It's a
to get
blessing.
to these ages. Like, so it's really not a read, little mamas.
Okay. Well, I guess, does that answer the viewer's question? Did you get that? I hope so, because it's an exhausting conversation. I don't want to say that
So let's-
it doesn't exist. I'm just saying it doesn't exist for everyone.
Let's get off of that. Let's go into something that's more positive. Because remember last week when we talked about sisterhood and it hit you like kind of hard or whatever, and you was talking about how you had a lot of sisters. Let's talk about the experience of sisters and the sisterhood in Ballroom and with like trans or just trans women, period.
Yeah. So last week that really touched me because you know when you grow, you get older, you know you heal, you go through things, you start to realize that the pack that you had is not going to look the same as you get older. And I didn't realize that when I was young. I thought some of my friends, we were going to be this forever. And it was kind of like you just realize that it was like some friendships that we were toxic to each other. Maybe I was even bad to them, but we weren't compatible to be friends forever. Especially especially where I want to go as far as healing, being the best version of myself. I just felt like I was either too toxic for them or it's the other way around. We just wasn't meshing well.
For me, I have more sisters now than ever. Before, because like I said, I hung around. I was the only female in my crew when I kicked shit. No, but like I was like, I became like the girl like who was always around like boys, like who like had boys around. So I didn't really have like sisterhoods. Like I do have like certain sisters that now I have, like, you know, from back in the day, I have a couple of sisters that, you know, we are still really, really like cool that I could think of off the rip. But I've built more relationships now, and it makes me wish that I had sisters that I came up, that I went through the journey with, that, you know, we stayed strong and, you know, we're there for each other. Because sometimes you really need that, and those people can really identify with you because they know your story. You have a lot of similarities and all that. So I think sisterhoods are very important.
Well, I mean, sisterhood has, like, when I'll call it frozen time. I don't know why that's happening, but
Take a sip, sis.
yeah. The one that I said was so good.
Yes.
You good?
Yeah.
You got it out.
I mean, sisterhood is like really intentional for me because I think that language, right? We throw that, what's up, sis? Like we throw it around loosely. And sometimes I think culturally when we throw that word around, people hurt us. And then we just say, I don't need any more sisters. And it kind of develops this way where we generalize that statement. I like to use the term proven sisters. And I've always been a girl's even before my frozen time. Like I was like out there, we took care of each other, we laughed, we joked, we went everywhere together. Whether we was doing the bad things or the good things, we kind of like took care of each other. And when I came back from frozen time, it was like I was still kind of stuck on that, right? So when people would betray me, it would hurt me. And I was around girls who say they were my friends and they wanted to be, and we all kind of started like my day one, some of them. And times have changed, and we've outgrown each other. But I've always been the girl like to gravitate towards other women. And like when I came to the house of Margella, like it wasn't like a forced interaction. Like the woman just it was like organic. And it made me feel as though I can be that way with women again and I would be safe. I didn't have to be with you and be in competition with you. I didn't have to think that because you do that and I do this, that somehow. But sisterhood is so important because we understand what we go through. One sister that like everyone knows is like my rock, my go-to, Dominique. Like even before, you know, the frozen time, we were close. And it was like when I came back home, it was like, I remember the first time we saw each other, we ran to each other because we haven't seen each other in so long. And since that time, we haven't separated.
What is the frozen time? What is that?
Frozen time is when I was incarcerated for 14 years. So there, you have it. So like when
I'm sorry, I didn't know that's what you were
No,
talking
so
about.
when I came home and I saw Dominique, like it was like I was happy to see someone who I was familiar with, who knew me prior. And through all my highs and lows and up and down, our sisterhood remained. And sometimes you don't really meet girls like that. Like I'm tearing up because it's like, that's my sister. And that's the same way I feel about Erica. You know, that's why I'm that way with her, with you and Simone. it's just something about having that togetherness with women who are just equally powerful like you and don't take away from your power because of who they are. Because sometimes the shit that we go through in life, the stuff that we have to do and the weight that carries us, to hear someone tell you, I'm proud of you, or congratulations, sometimes that just makes you feel like you want to go further. And we need sisters like that. Because
Yes,
Barbara
yes,
would
we
make us
do.
think that we don't. And that's why I love y'all so much. Because
We
like
love you so
offline, we kick this shit even online. So it's like this shit right here is not fake. And that's how important sisterhood is. We keep us
I
safe.
need to get. That's where I guess I'm going to it in my life now. Like I'm going to that point where I'm ready to build new relationships and stuff like that. Like I guess that's where I'm at now. I'm getting to that point.
Like, that's why I've always hated that no new friends thing. Like, girl, I need friends who gonna elevate me. Like, I want friends
Who's gonna
make
push
me,
you.
Yeah, who's gonna
I was
push
gonna
me.
say
That's all.
congratulations.
Yeah, I
You
want
know,
people
friends.
doing better than me so it can
Yes.
I
make me
need
want
that,
more.
yes.
Like, I'm
I
not.
want-
Right.
Yeah.
Like you don't want somebody to be like, well, why Asia? Because me and Asia was doing it. Or why Tempress? Like, I need woman that's gonna be like, yeah, sis, go. I'm like, push the door open for me. You know what I'm
Speaking of
saying?
that-
Like that type of shit.
Elevate.
Speaking of that, so one of our something that I wanted to get, something that now is so openly talked about, but in my days it was like, if you know, you know, and that's like, I mean, y'all say sex work, I say escort, or whatever. Like, that's like sex work. How do you ladies, and like we talk about sex work before, it was like they used to make it so taboo. Now they like sex work is work.
It is.
It is like, sex work is work. So what are your thoughts about?
I'll go for you wanna go?
I mean, like honestly, sex work saved my life. And I know a lot of girls find that statement harsh or too close to the truth, but not because I had to. My family was very religious, but I couldn't be me there. And I couldn't work at that time. You couldn't work and your name is this and you show up like that. No matter what they say, that equal opportunity stuff was like, that was a lie. So, I started to like do my little thing. When I came to New York, I would switch and change. And I remember having money, being able to go places, buy hotels, even though I made some of the wrong decisions. But sex work gave me I felt, people make it look like it's bad, but there was some fun fucking times out there. Like, bitch, we used to have fun. I came up in the era when there was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And bitch, we had sex, drugs, and rock and roll, baby. And that was like, if you had the coin and you had the services and you was done, you was that. And they used to call it the white people's drug. But bitch, we was all doing it. And it's like, if you knew, you knew. But the difference between that generation and this generation, they will stand 10 toes down and tell you what they doing. Back then, if you knew, you had to
Just do
catch
it.
somebody doing it because nobody was open with what they were doing unless you was a part of the nightlife or you was like doing other stuff. So to me, like, it definitely gave me the option to choose how I wanted to do, whether I wanted to use drugs, whether I wanted to go to the club. Like, I had the monies to do that, And we're going to talk about that, the drugs as well.
This is a really difficult topic for me because this is very rude. Like I'm very, like you just said, I'm very private with my life, like, and just me in general. But it took me a very long time to leave that life alone and just not indulge in it so much. Like I work, that was my job, and I was addicted. I actually liked it. Like I actually enjoyed meeting different men, going to different countries, different cities, and I was just around wealth and just around men. It was just like, it was spicy. I don't know. It was like a thrill to me.
But that's the
It
thing.
was like a thrill.
Like
It was
the whole interaction, the
meeting this
whole
guy.
consensuality,
It's
like,
like-
listen, we gonna make this money, what you paying? Like that whole,
I
that
didn't
was,
So
care
me-
for that. It was because I never liked to talk about money. Like
Oh.
either you have it or you didn't. That's how it's just like you knew So it was what it gave. Like,
Wait,
we
you didn't
just
care
said-
about the money? Wait a minute. That's
No, it's
that's
because-
some new hoeing shit.
No, it's not that I didn't care. It's not that I didn't
You ain't
care
worried about
about
the
it,
money.
but it was just like I didn't like to talk
That's
about it
that's the
because
new
I only
generation.
dealt with rich men. So I only dealt with rich men. So I didn't have to deal.
Yeah, so
at
it
a
was
certain
different type.
point.
Remember, there's you had
Yeah.
you had the escorting age where we were like the
We was in
internet girls to
hotels.
add the ad.
Oh, wait a minute.
You know, on the street, we didn't.
You was on the street, like you was on the streets.
but it's not.
No,
that
we're
shit. I
not
was there
trying to.
too.
We're not trying to.
I was there too. I started there too.
We had
No, it
escort-
is a different.
Wait a minute.
No. It
Wait
is.
a
No,
minute.
I'm just
No, but
saying.
she
We
was
had
prostitution.
escort services too. Okay, don't do that.
No, we're not
We
trying
had
to look on
escort
anything.
services too back then.
No,
Don't
but
do that.
your experience. What was your experience? We're talking about your experience.
I wasn't
but
an
go
escort.
ahead,
I was a
Asia.
street worker.
So, you know, I did start at the on the stroll.
Oh,
I was,
okay,
No.
right.
I started when I
okay.
was, yeah, it was the end of the day. I was like 16, I think, 15 when I started.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was, don't say right now.
I don't. No, that's not a like. I'm saying wow because Asia
No,
like
I was
15, like that's
No, I
like.
already know. No, I know. You know, but look, a bitch had to get it. Like, I had to
Yes,
get it. And it
and-
was like, it was to the point, like, I just had to get it, honestly. It didn't really, I had to, you have to become numb. I had to become numb. And I'm not saying no, like, I think do whatever you want to do in life, but, you know, do what you're going to do. But I honestly feel like I had to become numb at a really young age because some of the men that had the money was not nothing that you wanted. Like, physically, it was
Right.
not, especially the ones that knew the process. Like, it's like, look, it was nothing to talk about.
Right.
So that for me, it was the hardest to learn, to become numb and just be attracted to just the money aspect of it.
So there was money involved then.
Well, because of those type of men,
She
I
just said-
literally learned to narrow into the type of guys I wanted. So they already had it was no fun that we needed to talk about because it was already there.
Gotcha.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I didn't want to have those conversations because it's so hard. I'm going in. It's so hard. It's so hard to have those conversations with people that are trying to hustle you. So I was like, I had to get out of this life. I had to get out of it.
But I'm saying like it's different because sex work changed a lot from like street work to sex work. So I do understand where you're coming from. I was just joking with you when I was like it wasn't about the money because we always know
I
that
don't know. I don't take
the
things
money
personally 'cause I knew what it was.
definitely
Like, I was
plays a
good.
part of that. But there are people who definitely enjoy and build their careers off the porn industry.
Because it's fun. Like, honestly,
You know?
I'm not going to say that you don't have those bad moments when you be going through some shit, but to be honest, for me, I'm a spicy set on the low. So it was fun for me at sometimes that it was like, I was going to different places, meeting different people, different men. I was meeting couples. It was just like, this is some crazy shit. It was like, the type of conversations, like, you don't even know the type of men you were meeting until their conversations. It was like, this man's literally a lunatic. I was like the way he was thinking, the way he was talking, but he was either a businessman. These people, it just be fun. I'd be like learning so much during.
How do you feel about it? Because I want to know. Because you over there cutting, you know.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, I was the type of person that was like, I would never do that. You know, I was offended, you know, when people that I knew like told me about it or introduced me to it. But once I did it and I found out it was like so easy at the time, and I don't like to say sex work because I didn't have to have sex all the time. Like I say escort because a lot of time I had to gift to the gab, honey. It was given. I was just gonna get you out them coins. I traveled. I went a lot of places and stuff. So it allowed me to do a lot of things that probably the average individual wouldn't be able to do. And so, but it was so addictive, like, you know, because that fast money or whatever. And also what happens is I became burnt out. I was just so burnt out. It was like, it took me away from wanting to go after the goals that I really had set for myself. And I was so trapped in it for a while that I didn't know how to come out of. It was so hard transitioning into working a 9 to 5 or rewiring my brain to be like, okay, child, now, okay, enough is enough. You need to go do this, because it was just fast money. And, you picked up them, people who took, I picked up people who took care of me for years where I didn't even have to, do that at times and stuff. So, and also I started looking at it as like, guys only want me for sex. So why not take advantage of that? And that was, I don't know if it was an excuse or whatever for me, but for me, it was like, child, you gonna just want to sleep with me, so let me just go ahead and get this money. So that's how I looked at it. I just don't, it was a little weird for me when I started seeing like the new girls be like, on my way to for alcohol and stuff like that on Facebook and stuff. That was so different to me, because the girls just did their thing and people talked about the girls, and stuff, but we didn't have to be shouted out.
You heard about it. Like, I heard about, I'm not going to say, I was about to say a name, girl.
Yeah, but certain names that you do.
But it was certain fab, clientele that would tell you about older girls. But one of my clientele when I was really young, he used to tell me about the older girls. Like, he was just like, he was one of those clients that was like, I was with him for hours, and he'd just be talking about the girls. Like, I'm just like, but in a good way. He's like, yes, I dated the Miss da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Like, I'm like, really? Because y'all,
you got them legendary clients, honey.
Always kept it a secret.
Yes.
You never knew what girls did what. You just kind of figured.
You just seen them beat.
But because I grew up around the girls, and I was under them, they told me, baby, this is how you get it. This is what you do. They don't hire us. That was the first thing I learned. Yeah. Not saying it was good, because it wasn't good to hear that. I was 15 years old. I was living in that gay group home, Gramercy, and we had went, this is crazy, we had went downtown to the village, and it was crazy what happened. She was just like, my friend was like, we gonna do it, and I knew I was doing it this night. Mind you, the funny thing is I didn't have to do it because I was getting taken care of as a child, but because I saw so much in the scene and I wanted to be a part of, and I wanted the glitz and glam, I wanted the things, I started to get attached to the money, and I was like, bitch, I can't get no money in here. I'm young. I can't get a job. Like, so let's just go do this. I went down there, I was 15, to the village, and it was this guy, and it was real cheap. And I got in his car, I would never forget. And it was that was the first time I did it. That was the first time I popped my escort cherry. Well, escort and cherry, I guess. And it was in the village. And it was like, it was real cheap. It was real cheap.
I'm just like, when we talk about, doing sex work and it being for survival, like you just said that, it's not that I really had to do it to survive. I did it because I just wanted, and that's why I say.
I had to do it to survive, but I didn't have to do it when I first started, I didn't. Right. But years later, when certain other things happened, I had to. It was like, because I had stopped. It was like I did it here and there. Like, it was little stuff. Like, I honestly did it because, that. But my friend took me. It was like a thing, I guess, that the girls were doing. I was young. I was impressionable at that time. So, yeah.
And I think, like, we all get introduced to it in different ways. Like, for me, that was the way that I could survive at that time. It was good and it was bad. I mean, and I think that even now when we talk about, like, when you were saying how I'm going on the outcall on social media. Now it's like everywhere you look, it's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So it's just like the progression.
Just like you went from the stroll to the ads, to the, to the OnlyFans.
So it's a progression, and it's just that certain spaces will allow it. Now people could pay $25 on OnlyFans, and they got you for a month.
I wish I was bold enough to do OnlyFans.
I think stuff like that is just people just being out loud. And this is one reason why I was so excited to do this platform, was because we were able to show the younger generations that you're able to do anything you want to do. Like, bringing different guests up here. Even just us three, we do so much. Bitches going to school, bitches about to be acting. Like, you over here standing next to, John Legend. Like, these are, we're living our dreams now. So it's just, they get to see this. And they get to make a decision what they want to do.
I love that.
I love that.
They get to make a decision what because I feel like like a lot of us felt like we didn't have a choice really for real back then because it was discrimination and stuff going on with it.
We
But
made the best of things.
we did.
Yeah.
And we actually did, and that's why they say like a lot of us are resilient. But that's why it's so important that we have these platforms and we are living our dreams, no matter how we get there. Like before, we couldn't even exist in our whole authentic self. Now, it could be a good or a bad thing, but we're out here now. Like, we are in school, we are getting educated, we are actresses, we are fashion models, we are doing things, and we have a lot of visibility, and that came at the cost of some very powerful people stepping up. And like, hopefully people can see this and connect to us and see that we all have different lifestyles and different journeys, but we're definitely living our best dreams.
Yes, we are. Yes,
So a lot of times you hear people, that leads me into another thing. I've heard people say that out of escorting, they picked up addictions. And I noticed that, and I won't say that escort brings on addictions, but I noticed that addictions are running rampant in our community. Like we're losing, and it's like young kids too, like left and right, like over, because you have fentanyl out now and, all this. So people are like overdosing and, then this crystal meth epidemic is like, taking a lot of, our youth and things like that. So how do y'all feel on addictions, and how can you speak to that topic?
You ready?
That's a very touchy subject, on so many reasons, on so many levels, especially for me, like being someone who battled with addiction for multiple years. And just to think about like the current times, like we said, like back then, if someone did drugs, we hid it. Like we dress it up. You're not gonna know. We would definitely have to be damned. You would have to catch us literally at the spot buying it for you to know. As opposed to today, I have so many indifferences to like how as a community we deal with substance use in our community. Like language we use, like giving it pretty names and making it socially acceptable, when this thing is eviscerating our community. And it exists, and it's been existing since the time when I was out there. I was out there when we didn't have crack. We had freebays. We did fish scale. And these were like the
Fish scale,
social
what is
drug.
that?
That's like Coke. It's raw Coke.
That was the Coke.
Yeah, and this is when we were out there, and it was like, it was so rampant. You can go into one club, get it from there, go to the next. And this was like things that we normalized in our community. And it's just like when we fast forward to today, and when we have people who have survived or are living, in recovery, it's so much that we endure when we see others who are going to either go through some of those same challenges, and we try to help. This is another reason why I stopped doing a lot of direct services, because as much as I wanted to help, I was so connected to them doing better that when they didn't, it would tear me up, because I know what lays before them. Because drugs is not good. And I don't care how you dress it up, what name you give it, or who all down with it, it is not good. And when we push on our community, we have a harm reductive approach. We love the user, but not the drug. Doing harm reduction without intervention is just prolonging the inevitable, giving people paraphernalia to prevent them from catching sexual transmitted diseases, but you're not addressing the substance. You're telling them, take this pipe, use it, clean it, use it, do less, do less. And they're still dying because every other year something different. It's fentanyl this year. What are we going to be dealing with this year? So it's just so, it's crazy, because we all know someone or people in our lives who are impacted by this. And some of them, will see them in the street, and we'll take our phone out, and we'll laugh, and we'll joke. And then when they die or something, it's, but you never know what someone is going through. And I don't want to normalize this thing because this thing is gripping people that you don't even think that it's gripping, and people are suffering in silence. Because I used to dress it up. You would know. You would literally have to catch me at the spot. And these days, people can do it so much more better. Like, I don't believe that there's anything as a functioning addict. I just don't believe in a functioning addict. At some point, the drugs will supersede whatever other function you got going on. Whether physically, mentally, it's going to show up in ways that you know, that's not me. I've been so fucked up that I've been in jail sitting there like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Bitch, I'm standing on the corner, lit up like a fucking Christmas tree, doing hand-to-hand service, talking about, it wasn't me. Bitch, that was you. You blew out that cloud of smoke and you made that sale. You understand? Somehow I thought that nobody would see me. That's how high I was. You know, and I threw my whole life away chasing this fucking cloud. And normally, like, I know that that is an instrument of the enemy that blocks our gifts from manifesting. And today, like, this is why I'm able to have so much passion with that topic because of it. Because I lived it. I know what the fuck that demon does.
Asia.
So growing up in the community, it was out loud. Not they considered certain drugs hard drugs, and then they considered other drugs to be the glamorous drugs,
party.
like the party drugs. So as soon as I came out, I was outside, but I kind of just watched at first. Like, it took me a long time, like a couple of years. I think I was about 17, because I came out at 14. At 17, that's when it was like, okay, it was me and a friend. We had tried ecstasy together, and it was up from there, like, as far as like doing that a lot. And then I got addicted to e-pills. That was the first drug I tried, and I got addicted to it. But I'm just so thankful that I saw something. It was just like this one day. I was addicted for 2 months. It was one day for me where it was like, I looked in a mirror, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I was so, you waking up from being high like that and consistently, and I looked in the mirror, it was like, nah, I'm done. I literally went in the room, packed my stuff, because it was me and a group of girls living together, and I was like, I can't live here. I can't do this. And I just found a way somewhere else. I called my peoples, and I was just like, I need to rent a spot from you. And I took my little brother, and we left. One of my gay brother, I call him, he was like my little brother. I took him out that house with me, and I said, we out of here, because I knew if I stayed in that place, the drugs would have took over me, because the drugs, it's just like this evolution of like, everything is gone. There's no badness. You're not thinking negative. You're thinking nothing but positive shit. Like, everything is just fun. Everything is just a good time. And I was like, nah, I did my little brother. I was like, hell no, I'm not leaving him around this. And
Thank
I took
God
him.
that you was able to get
Hell
him
no,
out.
he was younger than me.
Wow.
And I was just like, no, because even though things happen, but I made sure at that moment I just wanted to let him know that, nah, you're not gonna do that one. Like, I'm gonna be that one for you. You always gonna remember this moment, because I don't want you to be gagging. Because some people don't. I learned quickly on. Some people don't know how to make it out.
They don't.
Some
It'd be
people
hard.
don't come out.
So it's fortunate when you
Because I
figure it out.
also think it's deeper than the drug.
It is. It's
That's just a
usually
place
it's
for you to
tied to
survive.
mental illness. Like, it's usually tied to like some type of
That's it.
mental illness or something, like where you end up with addiction. So I come from a family of recovering addicts. Like, my mother went to a rehab when I was like probably 11 years old, and she was gone for like 3 years and stuff. And she's been clean now for probably about 30 something years plus. And some other people in my family, so I seen it. So I was the type of kid that was like, I'm never doing drugs. It's so funny, the things that you judge that sometimes you end up going through or whatever. And so I, was that type that, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. I started smoking weed like later on, like, in my 20s and stuff. And, like you said, there was the party drugs. I would do e-pills and stuff from time to time. But then I used to like kind of look down on people who did coke. Like we used to be like, child, we not gonna ever do no coke. Oh my God, they're coke girls. But then coke became like the accepting. They called it in the gay scene, they always use the term white lady. That's so white lady. You remember how they always used to do that? So I started, and I never thought that I had an addiction because I wasn't the type that needed it like every day and stuff like that. But you catch me on a Friday night, I probably was like having a little party. And then like if I had clients, like when I was in that world, my clients, you would be getting high with the clients, y'all. This way I don't have to have sex with them. I'm just sit up here and just do his coke. You know what I'm saying? Or you're numbing yourself. And for me, even with the whole like escorting thing and with drugs, it became a character. I always wanted to act. I always wanted to act it. So that was what I used to go see a client. Bitch, I'm here today. What's up? I was just became another character or whatever until I realized that the coke, that I didn't want to do it no more. I didn't like it. And that's when I realized, oh, is this an addiction? Like, even if it was that once a week, it was like, girl, well, let me see you get past this Friday and don't do it this time. And when it started being an issue and I started to rationalize even the way that I felt on it, because, bitch, I started getting paranoid and all that type of shit. And, we do in the scene glamorize it and stuff, but they don't tell you what it's doing to your body later on. Like, they don't tell you, like, what certain drugs is, when they start, affecting, like, different things. Yes, it's going to show up some type of way. Like, you're having fun now, but what you do to your body today will definitely show up later on, so you must be careful. Like, so, and that, I realized when I had to break free from that, and when I did, because I knew that there was things that I wanted to do, because even if I was still getting high, like I did from time to time, I wouldn't be able to sit here, my nose would have been running. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was the coke, like, I mean, I can laugh about it now, but, it's free, and it's been about 3 years now, for me that I haven't done it or whatever. That's another thing I'm telling my family that they didn't know, but I did have my little bout for, some years with the coke or whatever, and I haven't done it in years, and I even have friends now because I stopped that it's like, girl, I'm not doing it anymore either. Yeah. And you realize that you're only friends with some people because of the drug. You don't even have anything in common with them once you stop.
It be that.
Yeah. But you know what? I literally, I was the EP, like, it was a bunch of us. I was the EPO girl. Coke was not my, I didn't like the fact that I had to, like, keep putting stuff in my nose. That bothered me. So I was like, that's not my thing. Or my first, I never judge people who, I don't care what you, that's your business. I have my things, what I do, that was it, and e-pills was one. And then later on down the line, I had tried other drugs, like as far as like Molly. And then once I literally Molly was cute in the club, doing little stuff here and there.
When it was MDMA.
Yeah.
Now it'd be so much other shit. But another thing that's taking over is like crystal meth. And, I've had friends who died, like, rest in peace, who was ready to come out of it and just couldn't. Yeah. Like, it has such a hold on them. So that was another thing, we're losing so many people in the community. And I'm not trying to make one drug be bigger than the worst, but I do know that when I hear stories a lot of times now, with the connection of meth, like a lot of these kids come from the community, and there were clients like back in the day who would pay them more money just to do it, and they hit that pipe that one time and could not even escape it. So we have so much stigma surrounding these drugs and stuff. You don't know what you're doing to these kids. You're pushing them further back in these holes that they're hiding in and stuff because they're insecure about what's happening, instead of like embracing them and realizing it is a disease, and usually it is tied to some type of mental illness. There's something you're trying to escape a lot of times.
Yeah, I feel like most people who are addicted to drugs it's like deeper, because I was there. So I can say doing e-pills and addicted to that type of stuff. Yeah.
Mine was sex.
And see,
it was sex. I became like somebody else, like, or coke. Like, it was like regularly I couldn't go be as freaky, like, if I wasn't, like with my body, like the dysphoria, like I couldn't, it just made me be somebody else in the moment. It was like, let me give them let me carry real quick, and I would numb myself like in the process. Like that's why I would like,
I mean, I think, like you said, people approach it for various reasons, and like I say, even with the, and I'll repeat it, like that harm reduction approach, it works for some, it doesn't work for all. Without the other tools, like addressing their mental health, figuring out what led them to that, and working with them simultaneously on both. Because you're right, some people try it and can't get out, so you want to be there for the person that can't get out, and they may do other things to get it, so you try to help them by using a harm reductive approach.
I think that's
but that's
the
not
harm
just
reduction
by
is
that
just-
practice. That's like you said, having that internal sense or that radar to say, okay, this is a disease. You know, you said you have people die. I've had someone die in my arms twice. You know, and I'm trying to get them up and having the police come and people come to try to revive them, like, and them waking up and not even realizing what just happened a few minutes ago. You know, so seeing that, being privy to that, and losing someone to substance use. I've experienced that. I've lost so many to addiction. I've pushed people away because of my addiction. I've harmed people because of their addiction, because I'm still in recovery. Addiction is just so violent and doesn't care. Drugs do not care about nobody. And the minute that we start to understand that and figure out a more effective way to address it, that's the only way we're going to be able to heal, because it's other things that lead us up to that. Drugs don't come to us. When people say things like, it's people, places, and things, I don't subscribe to that. Because
What
it's
do you mean?
people, places, and things, but it's you. Because the people are going to still be there, that place is going to still be there, and that thing is there, but somehow you end up there. Nobody brings you to that. It's you that goes to that. Like, things happen to us. People get introduced to it for different ways. I'm glad you was there to pull that person
I
out of the
think that
fire.
you-
I wish somebody could have pulled me out a lot sooner.
Sometimes you, like, I think we can get into it another time, but that harm reduction thing, I think that there's two sides of the story to that. Like, cause you sound like you stand firm against it a lot of times. Like you feel like it's not effective in some type of way. And I think that
I think that it is effective, but I think there needs to be an added component to it.
Okay.
Like, I've been inside Washington Square Park at a rally and see people come through and pass out pipes and charbroil and cleaning utensils and all
Well,
of
I
that.
mean-
and you already see this person is actively using.
but they're gonna do it anyway.
But
It's
listen,
like,
but you're gonna have a 2 to 3 minute conversation with them, give them the information, give them the clean, and you leave them. Right? So my thing is, like, I think that's good. That's just one layer. There needs to be something else added to that. It has to be. I can tell you clearly, I remember, God bless her death, like when I went to 14th Street, you know, where the little porn shop is at? You know, I was going there because, you know, I liked the oil lubrication, so I wanted to get that. I didn't like the water shit because it dry, right? So I went there, and I went inside, and they had in these little fish bowls all different types of pipes with the prices. $10, $15, and they had it laying out. But there was no information like call such and such there was nothing there. It was just the pipes. And when I came up, you couldn't walk in the store and just say, let me get a stem or let me get a pipe. You had to like put it in the brown bag and slide it. Now you could just walk into a store and buy it. So I'm like, the times has changed, and I don't know, like,
that's
how
a
to
whole long
combat it.
conversation. That's a whole deep conversation. We can get into what.
But I'm just saying, I'm not saying
harm.
harm reduction, to be clear, I'm not saying harm reduction doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying there needs to be other things added for it to be more effective, because we're using harm reduction and people are still dying. Let's just be real.
Yeah, and let's just give people grace that are going through addictions and stop, like, stigmatizing them and pushing them away. I don't know how
hurts when
to
you
help.
do that.
Sometimes, I don't know, but
But I also don't think it's people place. I also do think it is people places and things sometimes.
it is like that's what I was
think
saying. It is.
It is. I think it is sometimes. I think you meet, like, of course, if you're easy prey, Of
Yes.
course it's going to be, but sometimes
You have to
when
have
get-
grace.
Yeah.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not
you're in
saying.
when you're in
Here's
those
what I'm saying. I said
places-
people get introduced to it different ways. I'm not saying that once you understand and you have an understanding, like I know it's just some streets I'm not going to walk on. I know it's just some people I'm not going to go hang
But it's
around.
just different situations that may put you in these places
No, I
or
know.
whatever.
I'm
Like
not-
it just depends.
Like
Like
you're around
if you-
your favorite aunt or something
Oh,
like that.
what if
and
this
she
person
say,
is raising
I
you?
want you to. You have to try. No, it's different.
I understand that it's different,
people,
and I'm
places,
not.
and things
I'm not.
sometimes.
I'm just. I come from an old and I know this doesn't work. And I'm getting better at understanding that it was like there was no in between. It was either you was going into treatment to stop using.
But if you push somebody into treatment who's not ready to go into treatment, then that treatment is probably not going to be
Exactly.
effective.
I mean, I've been to several drug treatments as a result because I wasn't ready. So I do understand that a harm reduction approach works. I just wish it would
think
work
healing
more
Well, let's
effectively.
lighten
I
up the
think healing
topic.
people- I think people are looking at the wrong issue. It's kind of like people need to start.
What's
being
the other
healed.
later?
You need to be like healing. It's not about going into
Mental health. You said it.
yeah, but the other stuff like if I'm not ready to go get healed for that, I'm not gonna get healed.
Or if I'm coming back to the same situation that pushed me to do that, like if it's like, if I haven't gotten past that trauma and I'm just numbing myself because of that, then you have to get to the issue of that trauma and like work on
what I
that.
mean.
Yeah, so we're all kind of saying the same
That's
thing
what I
slightly,
mean.
but
The seeking safety is a track that deals
but
with the
if you
dual
can't get, but
diagnosis.
sometimes you can't get to that takes a little longer to get to someone's mental and to get to their trauma and stuff. So if you're just helping, that's just like giving kids the option to use a condom when they're having sex. It's the same thing. Like they're gonna have sex, so you can give them the option to use a condom. So why not give these people who are using needles clean needles and stuff? Like why not? Like it's so that we can stop like the spread of HIV or getting hepatitis or whatever. It's just trying to keep them from other things being added on to
Right.
their addiction.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that is important, but I also think that there's a dual diagnosis at times. We deal with the substance and we do preventive measures to prevent STDs, but we're not dealing with the person. Like that's a human you just gave that to. What else are you providing them as opposed to just that?
You know what
and
I
like
mean?
you said, it does take a lot longer to get to the trauma, right? But are those services being offered like as
Okay,
much
we
as we're
dragging
out
that,
there?
we dragging that, we
No,
dragging
we're
that.
not.
But
no,
we are.
I'm just saying we're not because I don't want you to think that I don't believe in
No, I'm
harm
not saying that you
reduction.
don't. I know that you do.
I just
you
think
said
that
dual.
there's a
You
dual
said it
diagnosis.
Yes.
Like we need to deal with the mental health, what got them there, and the substance use
Amen.
simultaneously.
Okay.
You can't do one without the other. It's ineffective.
Absolutely. This before we go into, because I can't wait to get our guest on because she means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So we go into that. But I wondered, it was a quick thing. I was wondering, like, when you see a person like when you can clearly see that drugs is taking over and stuff, I always wonder this too. What are those house parents saying to individuals that you know are battling addictions or strung out? Like how, like, cause that can be a sensitive topic, to just like, approach that as if you like were mothers of
I'll
a
be
house
honest,
and you felt like that. Would you approach a child about drugs?
like telling them to stop.
Just having a conversation with them about that, like with them about it. Like if they were
Now,
open.
where I'm at now and where I was at before, when I was mother, I was only focused on what I thought would, like if I didn't like your energy, I wasn't around you. But I know sometimes now as a mom, like as an overall mother or whatever type of position you're in, I feel like you gotta lead everyone, even if they're not listening at the time. So those people, like now, I know to step in and say to everyone, like it's just, it's not that I don't want you to do it. I want to dig deeper and see where you're at and why you're doing it. Because if I can figure out that reason why, we can try to heal you from that. But stepping into trying to get you to stop drugs, you might just stay away from me. Like that's gonna be the situation. And me telling you to stop, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to stop or do it. Now, where I'm at now is kind of like, let's try to see what's going on mentally, emotionally.
I really don't have like a lot to say about that because I experienced harming someone by just focusing on the drugs, and I believed in myself. I created enough space for them to deal with their trauma. But you're right, you never know how long it takes to get to someone's trauma. And as a result, like you do drive them away. I didn't have the patience, and that's why I'm still learning on how to deal with that. And that's why, like, when I do provide like types of educations around that, I'm not only educating the room, I'm re-educating myself, because it's important to see the humanity of a person as opposed to what they're experiencing, and trying to provide the support that you can. And because of my own journey, I personalize it, but there is a different approach now. And I like what you said, it's about like trying a different approach, because traditionally, like abstaining doesn't always work. And forcing them into treatment definitely doesn't work, because I didn't get mine right the first, second, or the third time. So it's about patience. I just think that as a parent, how you approach it, you try to approach it with grace. You try to approach it with grace, because it could be very difficult.
Yeah.
That's a difficult conversation.
Yeah, that's why I'm transparent about my journey, because I do that. I don't do that to just talk about it. I do that so maybe if it helps someone else, you know, or whatever. And so sometimes that's how I approach an individual who I feel, you know, maybe battling with something like that. Look, I was there. Like, I can identify. I know, you know what I'm saying? This is not coming from a judgmental place. But, yeah, we do need to figure out what it is that's making you just want to. But now, like, you know, and the scene has made it so glamorized, too. Like, that was another reason I had to stop. When you have people start coming up to you, talking about, do you want... Like, girl, no, you don't want to be like
happened
this.
to me.
Like, no, you
That
ain't
happened
never-
to me like twice. Remember,
Yeah,
I
it's
told
like-
you, we were sitting there and the dude was like, come on. I was looking at him. I was like, do you see this? And they
This
looking at
is-
me, and he was adamant. I was like, boy, if you don't get away from me. And I wanted to go off because I felt this disrespectful.
It is.
You don't even know my journey, and you're trying to get me to go with you to do this record. So you're right. Now when I think about instances like that, if I was young and
It
that
could've
happened
been-
with nobody around me to protect me, then that
And you
may
have
have
done
been
it
a
before?
You would've done it?
situation
Oh, you've been
where I would
around
have been like,
there?
oh, okay, well, let's go,
he
because
was
I'm
cute.
either afraid
The trade
or
had me,
he's
yeah,
cute.
that's
he
how I
was
started.
The trade, it was on my birthday. and everything.
I think, and that's why I live.
I remember
Let's
that
go.
thing. I remember that when
What? The
when
trade
that-
got me on my birthday?
No, it just made me think about that time, and you know the time I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the person was, so it makes me remember that you are right. Like, people do have different situations when they're actually either going to do it or coerced into doing it.
Well, that's got deep. But let's take a break, and then we're going to come back with the iconic, one of the most prominent femme queen faces that has hit Ballroom Runway. It's Ballroom Runway. Royalty, excuse me. We'll be back. Welcome back. We have the icon, Femme Queen Face. You may have known her as Vanessa Mizrahi. She is now Vanessa-Zion. Stone Cold Face. Sharon Stone Face.
Ooh, with the stone cold attitude.
One of the girls that I looked up to and that I called TT. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. Like, I have been a fan of this show for a minute. Like, ever since it started, I started binge watching because y'all had already recorded a couple of shows and this and that. And I just think that it's such a powerhouse movement from all y'all three girls to be doing what y'all doing, because we're in a place in ballroom and discussion, you know, publicly, that the Butch Queens this, the Butch Queens this, the Butch Queens this, the Butch Queens, enough. Enough. I see three powerful girls getting that power back.
Now, when we talk about femme queen energy, and we talk about, and when I tell you, when I have different voices and all that type of extra stuff, that's like, you know, Carrie, I talk about her being my gay mother. She is a sister. She comes from that sisterhood.
Right.
And speaking of sisterhood, we spoke on that topic earlier. And I remember back then watching you girls, and it was like y'all were big. All y'all had names. Y'all were all turning it on the floor, and it was like a big sisterhood.
Well, and vice versa, like slightly. I'm sorry for interrupting, but a line-ish, a line-ish.
Well, talk to us about that.
We were very like an alliance, you know.
Okay.
It was beautiful. The late '90s, early '95s. We looked out for each other, like the Rose Chanels, the Cheyenne Aphrodite, the Misha Milans. You know, when we were walking Carter and Carrie Mizrahi, my sister of all sisters, Fire and Ice were known as, you know what I mean? She's known as Fire, I'm known as Ice, the Stone Cold. And she's known as Ice because of the sex siren, you know what I mean? So we would call each other and like, okay, Rose, you want that category? You know what I'm saying? So we would all come and support Rose. But had Rose not won, then one of us was jumping to win the category behind.
Oh, word.
That's how we looked out for each other.
I was gonna ask,
back
how
then.
was y'all able to keep that, you know, like, you know, especially back then, you know, they tried to pit the girls against, you know, each other and stuff. So, and for y'all to turn it like that, so that's dope to hear that y'all had planned prior.
Yes.
Like, oh, you got this ball, so I'm not doing that.
Right,
Oh my
right.
God,
And we
I like that.
supported each other, but we knew that you had it because it was in the bag for you that night, and you knew that you was coming. We felt your energy. We knew you was, you know, 100. But just for general purposes, in case, you know, you didn't.
You was back there ready. You was back there ready.
Right. We was ready to back each other up. You know what I mean? And then the next one take it, and that's where we held our sisterhood. Now.
How did y'all become sisters? Like, how did that happen that all these fabulous girls become sisters?
Well, it was individuals such as I'd like to have to shout this woman out because she is in this building, and I wouldn't be right if I do not give her the flowers that she deserves. Eve.
We love you, Eve.
Raised us right. How about that?
Word.
Eve raised us right. She was an auntie. She was my sister's gay mother. She was my auntie.
I just found out she my grandmother.
Right.
Working.
You know what I mean? And they raised us with togetherness, like keeping friendship like more of a prize, you know, that being prized to us because of at that time, in that era, the Butch Queens were starting to dominate the ballroom scene, you know? So how do we keep our strength? Although I come from a school with icon of Philadelphia by the name of Kelly Harper.
Kelly Harper.
The pump doctor.
Right. Can you say that? Right.
She's the pump the girl. She's legendary pump the girl.
Right. And she was another one that kept us. They schooled us. Our younger school does that. There's only, you know, strength in numbers. That's how we have power. You know what I'm saying? If we continue to keep backing each other up and being there for each other. There was just so much going on and survival-wise on that era.
Survival-wise, yes.
Survival-wise, there was so much going on in that era that sisterhood was a bit slight effortless, but we had each other's backs because sometimes we were from different houses and you didn't even know that we were like, you know what I mean? That we weren't rivals, that we were actually like ace boom coons, you know what I mean? So it's like.
And you say that era because in that era, that was like the stealth era. That was like when the girls was, you know, they was kind of, you know, trans it wasn't like, oh, we're trans. Like that was
no. This new terminology. It just goes a whole different, you know, and I'm here for evolution and, you know, inviting new things. I'm not that girl that is stuck in her era, you know what I mean? I'm here for, you know, any new wave that, you know, because everything changes with time, because I changed time, you know what I mean? I was invited, I remember Sanaya, at the time that I came into the House of Mizrahi, And just to clear things up, it was Venus Mizrahi that brought Carrie Mizrahi into the house of Mizrahi. It was not me.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Right. It was not me. Just clearing up records from things of prior viewings and other shows, But when I got into the house of Mizrahi, all of us were creating, like Sanaya was teaching me, it's about you creating you. And that's one thing I'm going to give a big shout out is to Miss Sanaya Ebony. Miss Sanaya Ebony was not just only a sister, she was also a mentor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Shout out to Naya.
To Sanaya Ebony. Yeah, she was a mentor of mine. And she
Aliyah.
She's not a Ebony.
She's Sanaya Aliyah.
Right. Sanaya Aliyah, my bad. Okay. Well,
But some
Sanaya
names just stick with you. Like Mizrahi stick
like
with you.
Mizrahi
Ebony.
will always stick with me. You know what I mean? I am Vanessa Mizrahi till God continues to keep blessing me to be here. But I am now in my presence as Mother Beautiful Zion. I chose the name Beautiful because beauty is only within skin deep. Beauty is not a description of an outer appearance. You know what I mean? I don't know where that got mistaken because beauty comes from within. You know what I mean? So I believe that I had to learn to love and lead with love. So I had to dig in deep into the beauty within me to be able to lead these younger kids internationally. When I got introduced, invited into being the overall mother of the House of Zion. Now, I have not been introduced into Ballroom with the father just yet because he's in his own phenomenal lane of when is the right timing to come in and do his big bang and wanting to present Zion maybe, here within the United States and us to do what we want to do here. But he invited me, and I was very aware that it was going to be an international house.
How are you able to deal with Ballroom? Like, because you left Ballroom for a while. Well, you kind of, wasn't really on the scene.
2005-ish, I did take
a break. Where was Vanessa? What was going on?
I was in Miami. I moved to Miami in 1999, and I didn't expect to go back to Ballroom. I was hanging it up. I was like, that's a done deal. 3 years of walking Femme Queen Face in New York City, winning Face of the Year. The third year I won Femme Queen Face of the Year plus over New York City's finest Femme Queen. And I was just in a place where I found myself saying, I was like, not that I wasn't deserving, but I said to myself, publicly say this and almost embarrass myself, but I lived in a studio apartment in Queens, New York. But I'm yet New York's overall finest Femme Queen. Right.
Nothing wrong with studios. Some people
but this is where my mental, like my mind was at, was like, how am I New York's finest? But yet I'm here still thinking, where do I clip it off? Do move here? Where do I do this? Do that? Do what? I'm gonna have everybody looking at me as in a lead position of this is what to do. I'm in a survival mode. I hustle in a survival mode. Is this what I'm teaching my younger girls? That this is the right thing to do? Like, I didn't feel deserving of being New York City's overall. However, I got it as in impact and competition-wise because you couldn't even wake up on the right side of the bed to win over me. I'm just keeping that 100. Now, okay, so, girls age, and she takes care of herself. But in my younger days, I never even knew my own power. Like, I never even knew my own power, but the obvious, spoke for itself. I never lost, you know what I mean? So it was like, it kind of blew your head up, but you have to come to realization that
it's just competition. It's superficial things.
You mentioned something about survival mode, right? What does it mean to be in survival mode? Because you said you didn't want to pass that down. Like, what did that look like for you, survival mode?
Right. Well, coming into New York City, I was with the big dream of, and I have to say this because I was in a documentary at a young age of like 16, 17 called I Don't Want to Be a Boy. You can find it on YouTube. And it was recorded with some folks from Paris that were doing a documentary on the girls in the city and so forth and so on. And they had made like this main highlight on the fact that I was in the streets hustling, you know what I mean? And I said, just putting it out there, I said, yeah, I'm a prostitute. We're all prostitutes. She's a prostitute. He's a prostitute. We're all prostitutes.
Well, that takes us right into our next topic. That's good.
Right. You know what I mean? So, like, but it was what I used. I always use a gag factor to get your attention, to then give you the point. And when we were discussing how people viewed us and how they looked at us and how we were judged as transgender women, especially in that era, at that time, you know what I mean? Still to this day, we're fighting for respect, And it takes beautiful women such as yourself with these type of platforms to come and show America today and put out in front streets that we're not, what you're making us out to be, because what you guys are doing here today with allowing me to share my story and everybody else that shares there is teach one, each one teach one.
Yes.
And that's building a bridge to allow others to get educated and not be so closed-minded. So God bless this journey for Crazy Sexy Cool. I'm here for them. I'm here for y'all.
Thank you.
I'm so here for y'all.
Thank you. Thank you for always being so humble and motivating, inspiring. You always, like, even when you came back, like, I hadn't seen you in years, but when we connected on social media, you've always been the type to be like, go after your dreams, Niecy. Niecy, go sing, go act, go do what you're here to do. Like, you stayed telling me that, and I appreciate
I believe
that.
in you. I believe in you strongly
do.
because you have the gift.
Thank you.
There's a difference. I'm not here to sell a dream.
I'm
here to tell the truth. Right. I'm here to tell the truth.
Thank
you know what I mean?
you.
I don't sell dreams. I keep it 100. I see when I see, that light that you've been given.
Thank you.
Well, come on.
Thank you. I appreciate
Oh
that.
my Lord, please let it shine.
Right. So we talked about, you talked about it. You just said about prostitution, and we were talking about sex work earlier and survival, like how we had to survive. So you kind of spoke to it, but what do you think about it? What are your ups and downs? Like, what was your takeaway from it?
Your journey.
And how the girls view it now.
Well, I'll give you a small abbreviation. Yes, I'm going to publicly say I did start out in 14th Street. You know what I mean? I started there, but I didn't have a long run there because, and I'm not trying to overflower myself or just, act like I'm this individual who's full of herself and so forth and so on. But I was very blessed to be, scouted out by an agency that was quite high end, and they were like,
the agency was fab back then.
they were like, you?
Right.
And then that night they said to me, you are going to learn what is Louis Vuitton, Prada dress, Chanel bag,
Right.
Nails and toes done, and I felt like Sharon Stone in Casino, that was my journey. And I mean, it gets so abbreviated, the details of when I became a high-end call girl. Which is, a lot that I'm saying.
Yeah, like
She's
the
chatting. She's
No, this is good. This is good.
Yeah, no.
We need this.
Right, and I was I found it to this day. I'm still overwhelmed by how I would come out of a cab to tip the man at the door a 20 because he saw me 7 times in one day.
Seven times in one day.
In one hotel room.
It was funny back then.
Right. It was. Wow. And this is in the daytime.
Right. We said it.
This is all happening in the daytime, you know? And not only that alone, like the celebrities, like there was a hotel I was gagged out most where Madonna was banned from. And I had security open my door and walk me up to a prince.
Yeah, you used
Into
to be
a
meeting a
prince.
lot of people that belong there.
Yeah, into a prince's, guide, walk me up all the, so I can charge with the machine. Oh, because we had charge machines. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Oh, yes. There's different details and journeys in the survival business. It did have its glamorous and its high-end outlook on the experience. However, at the end of the day, it hits. I guess the walk would hit different, but the experience is all the same.
That's it. The walk is different.
Well, we because we
fair.
talk about a lot of the glamorous stuff, but I know sometimes I think back of like, there's certain situations I'm like, bitch, I'm glad I'm still here.
Oh yeah.
Like, I can't believe I
that
made it
earlier
out
when
of
we
there.
were
Like,
talking.
like when I would be in another country going somewhere so far, bitch. Like, I'm like, nobody's not going to even know where I am. Or having a gun pulled out on you, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're like, oh, no, we're doing this for free.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so, we talk about, like, the glamorous side, but there is a dark side to it, too.
Yeah, there is
like,
a dark side now. When I merged away from the agency that protected me and was, quite on, and I merged on my own and handled business solo dolo. There was talks with girls that I will not mention, their names just to respect that privacy. But a girl personally that went to Paris that we are all well aware of who she is in this room, and raped by 17 men.
17
After
men,
they
my
took her
God.
to a whole, to dinner, gave them the money, brought her back to the room, and then raped by 17 men.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, you know what I mean? So you are taking risk
Yes.
with this business. There's ups and downs with everything and anything that you do in this life, even going to the corner store, going to go shopping. You just never know what you're going to run into. So I'm not going to shoot down, the hustle per se.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it is
What it is.
right. You know what I mean? But in order to, like when I said, again, a different walk, the same experience, that's when I can relate to other girls, such as whether you are on this side of the fence or on, walking this side of the street. You're on the street. I'm in the house.
It's still the same, right? Still the,
Right, because now one thing that we share in common, though, no matter what the class shall be, is numbing, doing things of the sorts of the nature.
You going all into our topics, so numbings. Let's talk about, we talked about addiction earlier and stuff, and we all had our stories with addiction and, just talking about where the community is, how it's being affected by addictions and stuff. You come from a different time too, so I'm sure you have stories
I
and stuff.
couldn't tell you that I was from the age of mafioso and feel like Sharon Stone in Casino without letting you know that there's been many of trips to Paris. We're taking a trip to France. I cannot let you know, but this dog here has took to see the senoritas with all the flowers in her hair. Right.
This is why we have to have these girls, because they are treasures. This is ballroom royalty. These are treasures. These are women that I looked up to.
And I don't want to glamorize the situation, please. It's my way of being able to publicly be forward about.
Thank you. That's how I am
That's
too.
it. It's just my format of being able to somewhat, be able to be open about
Transparent.
stuff that is chokes you at the neck. To be so forwardly honest and real that, again, like I said, we're different walks, we're in different classes, we're sharing the same experience.
We have a lot of just.
We're sharing the same experience.
experience.
So at the end of the day, why that quote was hung up for me was because, you know what, Susie from over there, girl. I don't want to share this experience with you anymore.
Because everybody, the girls start
I
feeling
don't want to share this
yes.
experience with you.
The girls
anymore.
get real comfortable with you. They be like, right, you be like, girl,
Right.
yeah, let me stop this.
No.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Not happening, darling. If I want to, be here to continue to tell the story, then please, Vanessa, love on you so much harder.
For real.
That you realize that all that had to go.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it was what it was. But I think today, women like yourself, because y'all making an impact on today's society with teaching and just this, did you know that the little bit, you have a lot of people. Let's take a pause to let you guys know. Do like it, subscribe, share, and comment. Let's go. We gotta have you back. We gotta have you back.
Yo, I love you.
Do like, subscribe, and comment.
And press and that little bell on the side.
Right-hand side.
Right, but and it's true story. But and I emphasize on do like, comment, share, and subscribe because use a watch, and it'll hit. The information is gonna hit you in ways. I'm sure your viewers are bigger than your likes. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get a lot of views.
We get a lot of views.
You have high views, but the likes is struggling. Not saying that y'all struggling because y'all doing a good job. Y'all gonna get to 5K, and it's gonna go higher and higher and higher because y'all not gonna give up. But this is what the people. The more
Support.
you keep going forward, keep going harder. And keep feeding. They have no choice but to say, "Oh God, I live. I live." You know what I'm saying? And just let it be. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying informational-wise, education by sharing the stories. Each one teach one. We learn from each other. It allows other ignorant minds that were unaware of the information or the education or the experience to say, "Wow, I just been educated."
And we've gotten some of those comments when people have actually said they didn't even know what transitioning meant, they didn't even know our trans experience.
Wow,
They just saw things differently.
Beautiful.
And we've had the opportunity to educate them just by talking. Even when you came in and we were talking about that survivor's mode and moving forward and walking away from the things that used to harm us or hurt us. Do you because we've come from a generation where we've lost a lot of our friends,
Yes.
and I want to keep it on survival. Did you ever feel survivor's guilt?
I pray to God and thank him so much every day of my life that survival was not a struggle for moi. I'm very grateful to say that it wasn't, but the experience was a challenge. Was a huge challenge because I had to find myself in the midst of the experience in order to continue the reign. Numb myself in order to be able to perform and be that character and slightly enjoy it. Hate to have to say it, you know, so forwardly truth, you know what I mean? But, you know, you just come to a point where using takes you to a place where, wow, it creates so much imbalance for you emotionally and mentally that thank God for being such a beautiful man to give light to certain of us, to allow us to survive certain journeys, to create, you know, bridges for others to know that if this one made it, so can you. You know, that I was given that light to be able to see that, again, this could be glamorized, but it's not, you know, I'm doing the same thing as the next person who's not as glamorous. And so I realized that, you know, without mental health, without being right here and here, in your heart and in your mind, how are you even gonna make it?
Yeah, it's hard. Are you still sisters with your sisterhood? Like, is that
Yes, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Me and my sister, well, Vanessa and I were very still good cookie crunch to this day. You know, hit each other up on the sporadics. Now me and Carrie, we're fire and ice. You know what I mean? We're every day. We're hours on the phone. You know what I mean? I'm blessed to have and Misha.
Tell Misha, say.
Yeah. You know, I'm blessed to still have my sisters from that era, and we had a tight, you know, we had a tight one right there. So we continued that. Now we all went different ways and moved on about living different journeys and different lives and so forth and so on. But we managed to always stay in touch with each other. We always found a way to just check up on each other, like do the checkup, like checking up on each other was very important to us. And I was always, you know, blessed to be able to have that. And I think that's what keeps me grounded to this day is that, you know, without sisterhood, I don't believe that I would be sitting on this couch today talking to you girls.
So you talked about, so you said you was in a documentary at the age of like 14,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what was your childhood like? Like, how did you end up in a documentary or prostituting, like you said in the documentary?
Right, because that was the shock. that was the shock value. You know
Right,
what I mean?
like,
but if you listen to more after that, I was discussing how we get ridiculed and judged. You know?
Right. So can you give us a brief story of what was like before then? Like what was like
What
your
led you to
childhood? Like how did you become on the street doing that at 14 years old and even in the scene at 14 years old? If you want. If
No,
like,
no, no.
you know,
I'm good with that. I mean, I was young. I was in a hometown that, you know, did not, they were not open-minded. At 11th grade, I was taken out of school, and I was told to go and get my things out of the locker and to empty out my locker and then come down to the principal's office. I went down to the principal's office, and she said, you will not be attending this school anymore because the school board district is not prepared to educate an individual such as yourself. But you will graduate with your class, and we will give you an hour of tutoring. And this was, shout out to Liberty High School. Right.
you would have 1 lawsuit right in this day and time.
In this day and age.
You would get there.
Right. Right. You know, so they said that, and then I started, and then I had at that moment a scholarship to the Freedom Theater in Philadelphia because I was into acting as well.
Okay.
And I loved acting a lot, and I had a scholarship to go, but because I transitioned and became Vanessa, and I just was not comfortable in the skin that I was in prior, that scholarship was taken away from me as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was not welcome to, you know, to that either. You know, so I realized, I started seeing, wow, all these opportunities that I want to, pursue, like finishing high school and just, going into acting class that I earned it. You know what I mean? I did a play. I was the meaner lion. I played the meaner lion, and I was a very comedian, comical meaner lion because I was thin and skinny. But
You've always had a comedy edge,
right?
though.
Right. I am a class act. I am quite the class act. But I got the scholarship, and then just because I left one summer from middle school and came, you come back after the summer, and then I came back, and I just, was like, I just didn't come back out of nowhere. I've been like preparing, like I've been having, like seeing small individuals in my hometown that you didn't rarely see, but there was like rare, pretty ones that we known about, and they were known as like legends and icons.
Where are you from?
From Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, okay.
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And there were a few of them, and those were like the ones that were like, I was like, well, this is possible. Like, I can be me. Like, I can live me. I don't need no one's permission to be me.
Right.
I don't need to continue to, because I was a quiet individual. You would never think this loudmouth was, was who I am today. Like, I had to, I was extremely quiet. I was a shy bit person. But as soon as I was Vanessa, I was like, whoa, alive.
Yes.
I was here, and that was how that started. And I met Octavia St. Laurent, and she let me know, she was like, "You are beautiful," and I was just mesmerized by her, like, wow. And then you walk into Christopher Street, and Christopher Street are, any and everyone knows those are the gates. Like these are.
We always say that everybody got a Christopher Street story.
See, this is the gate to our underworld, to our underworld. It's the gates to our underworld that, today is mainstream and such a big hurrah and all over the place,
Oh my God, you brought up Misha. Wow. I
Right.
was telling her earlier, before Misha started walking face, she used to walk between up in drag realness.
Yes.
And I remember there was a ball, we was both walking, and I lost my prop, so I didn't walk, and that's when she won with the fake baby, and she had like this little bone snatch.
Yes, I remember that.
And the girls, bitch, I was so mad. I wanted to battle her so bad after that. Like,
Right.
she stole that idea because I was coming down with my baby.
See,
stroller.
you two come from the same school. That's like, you know what I mean?
Right.
She's
Like,
from
I
our
grew
So
up
it's
with
so
era.
crazy because
Yeah.
she's like, they say new girl, but she's an old
She's an
girl.
older
But because she
girl,
really
yeah.
been
And
around.
that's the
like,
thing, because they say, but I've been around. Like I was.
Well,
my
no,
sister early.
for me,
Well,
watching the show, watching you guys' show, I realized that it was different schools. You know what I mean?
But then we
Because
actually
even
bumped
though
into each other.
Tempress is. no, listen. I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna say it with love. I'm gonna say this with love. You age-wise, they say, such and such thing. Oh no, because she's, and I'm like, but sweetheart, she was a baby when she got in, and she put that dress on. She was a baby. We were more experienced. That's what makes her our.
That's
family,
why we're younger.
our
Yeah.
little sis.
Yeah, so
like you're my
age-wise,
niece,
right.
you will always be my niece. I will always love you in that because I've experienced more, I've walked more. So therefore, there's gonna be something that I've
that
done.
y'all was able to instill in me. It was crazy because people didn't know
Not
my
to say I didn't
age.
respect your age.
No.
You know what
The
I mean?
thing is, people thought that I was a lot younger than I was because I transitioned later, and so people who
But
were
people never
guiding
understood
me,
that.
right?
Yeah, they never
Carrie and them
understood
was
the
younger than me.
respect. No,
right?
they never
That was-
understood the
right.
respect, though, that you were.
I was giving, yeah,
you
because y'all
still
were
a
teaching
baby.
me. Yeah, I was a
still
baby in that. I was.
In that sense.
And when you transition, I always tell people it feels like it takes you back. Like for me, it took me back like 10 years. Like I was a little girl all over again. I transitioned at 27, but I was giving bitch I'm 17. Like, you know, because I was learning like womanhood.
But you
all
were,
over.
and you really
Yeah,
were,
I
and you really
was.
was, and you really was.
It's
Yeah.
like a new journey.
And you're such a doll, and you're such a beauty.
Thank
Like,
you.
Seriously, you have flourished into
Thank you.
such an amazing, like everything we visualized. You know what I mean? Like seriously, because your mother's spoken but nothing but beautiful things.
I'm glad that I was able to experience your era of girls.
Yes.
Like I'm glad that I was able to get that.
To
Yeah.
continue that love on.
Yeah.
Because you knew that we looked out for each other. And we loved
Yes,
on each other,
yes, yes.
And we depend. Like if we didn't love on each other, then who else was gonna love on?
We all we got.
Right. And so to see this is why I'm like, wow, y'all bringing it. Y'all getting that strength back. Like
Thank
y'all
you.
taking that power back. Y'all refuse to let, and that's what I'm seeing from this. I'm seeing from this, Crystal of Asia was a woman of, that this is why we have what we have today. This is why some of us even have the journey.
Well, yeah, like
And you're gonna tell me that we're gonna sit back and just be okay with a butch queen with no pun to my voice, no pun to my voice. Feel like they, overtaken the
Narrative.
the narrative. Seeing this, I can't wait to continue to see what you girls are going to phenomenally reign in.
yes, we got big
We got
big
some
got big
things coming,
ideas.
some big ideas.
It's gonna be bigger. I'm so glad. Like, I'm really, really glad that you came.
I'm happy. I'm actually shocked because I was binge watching it. So when I finally am sitting here today, I'm like,
And
We
mind
love
you-
that. It
and mind
validates
you-
the show for me
Right,
too.
and
Like
you're
it,
not even like in New York. You came
Yes,
and
I
drove
traveled
up.
to
Thank
New
you.
York. So I appreciate
Thank
that
you.
so
Thank
immensely.
you.
Thank you. Because sometimes it's so hard to get a hold of girls from your era and stuff. They're like, oh no,
I wanna see
and we
what the
just
show
want people,
gave.
we just want people to be able to tell their story because a lot of times, people don't understand they don't research culture or whatever. And so sometimes when older girls who put work in come back to the scene, you're not getting the flowers and respect that you should. And so I want you to be able to lend a voice to that experience. So that's why we're having like all generations come and be a part of here.
So with that being said, and I'm grateful, for the opportunity to come, to the show and just be able to chit chat with you girls a little bit and just share some lights on some subject.
I want to say something to you, especially my generation. I just want to say thank you for even sitting on this couch. Just hearing your story, you gave me some insight. Like, I didn't know it was going to be this much I needed to hear, but it was just so much from your voice that it just like, I learned some things tonight. And I think these couches are not just more to give out. We also learn a lot more from each other as well, as just queens and who we are. Thank you so much. And just seeing you in those days when I was on YouTube and Ballroom and the clips that I did see, it was just beautiful. It was just amazing. It was just like it was
Very
beautiful.
glamorous.
She used to come down with it.
It was a character. It was an alter ego that
We talked about that, too.
Yeah, it was
Like-
an alter ego for me. It was an alter ego for me, and
That-
yeah,
They here right now. The colors is Jordan.
Yes,
That
yeah,
blonde-
right. I was gonna
I keep
say
getting into that color. I'm like, oh my God, the way it's blended like that. Yes,
Thank you.
No shade.
I was giving it a time. So let's have fun. Y'all ready for Crazy Sexy
Yes,
Cool? Y'all
Crazy
ready?
Sexy Cool,
So now we're
yeah.
gonna play Crazy Crazy.
Wait, before you move forward.
Okay, what's that?
Because I want to definitely be able to be in schedule with you guys to close off the show. But there was a recent show that Just Kelly got on air, and she, stated some things of a past that's buried. It's underneath the rug. It's all tea that was left. Like it's over and done with. Like so whatever have you. But I just wanted to clear my name because Just Kelly just said, that she specifically said that Vanessa and Carrie was not talking. We're not talking. She said they were not talking, and Anjanae and Vanessa sent Anjanae to Chop Carey, and I said, "What, Chop Carey? I would never like that. That's my sister. Like that was their own personal,
Yeah, I remember
situation that was going on, and I just wanted to clear the air publicly on this show today.
So Vanessa did not do
It
that.
was me that sent her to get chopped. I did not do that. That's not the type of woman. No, I love my sister.
And hopefully
too much.
Carrie could come tell her side of the story.
It went- but it's all like we all grown and past that. You know what I mean? But Kelly just brought it up, and I was like, "No, sis, Kelly, I love you.
Kelly,
to
you're
death."
wrong.
Yeah, Kelly, I love you to death. I love you to death. Love you, but I was told wrong.
Yes. So we're gonna play Crazy Sexy Cool now. We're gonna ask you some questions. You're gonna pick out of the bowl. We're gonna have somebody bring you a bowl, and there's gonna also be 3 shots. If you don't answer the question, you have to take a shot. But knowing you probably gonna answer these questions. Queen, please.
Queen, I promise you. This is gonna be nice, man.
But what's going
Shout
on?
out to my son.
Shout out to him because he helps us so much.
Shout out to my son. Yes, follow
The
him.
people behind the scenes.
Yeah, when you look at the graphics
He
and
pours
stuff,
into the
that's
show a
who got
lot.
the
That's
graphics
the
on lock. And a lot of people talk about them graphics. So,
Such a talented.
Yes.
Go.
So you just pick out, you got to move it a little closer to you. And you pick a question, and either you answer the question or you take the shot.
Let's see what we got going on here, because we finally answering questions around here. Okay. Oh. Which girl from your generation do you think was overrated?
Girl.
Hold This was a good question. Like, this is a phenomenal question. Which girl from your generation do you think was overrated?
Oh, you can take a shot. And
When
not
she pulled
answer
up the
it.
shot, she was like,
No, because I didn't know, just in case she was going to answer that.
I'm going to make it hot. Tanya Prada.
Shout out to Ballhead. To Tanya Prada. Tanya used to bring it with that bullhead baby.
You asked. I can have a sip
That's her
of this
opinion.
one. I answered the question.
We love you, Tanya. I told you she was going to answer these questions. The next
No, that's
question.
that old school. energy.
Yes, that's that.
But we
that's
said we were
that
gonna
fun
make it
shade.
hot. No,
That's
listen,
fun
me and Tanya
shade.
don't have no
Tanya,
beef.
come
have
tap
no-
Vanessa next time. Y'all can battle it out on the floor.
No, me and Tanya. Listen, much love, but you know, you was over.
Ace getting her right.
Love you.
Queen.
Yes, Fifth Queen, baby.
Right. Which hoax were you in that you hated?
Oh, which house was you in that you hated?
Oh, no.
I never hated though.
That's your answer.
That's your
We're
word.
just like,
That's your
Dislike. You can say disliked.
I'm not taking a shot tonight. I have to drive home.
I need that. I'm not taking a shot today. I need to try it.
Yeah, this video is gonna go viral. This is the prototype of Femme Queen.
I'm Manola Blahnik.
I knew you. Why did I know you was gonna say? I said that too on mine, but we love Jay. Jay, we do love Jay Blunt.
You'll give me a phone call and let me know why you had me try you.
What?
And
that
we'll
some
clear
tea?
the air. Okay? Because I was paid for that function that you hired me for.
Oh, see, they put the girls on down. That's good.
I love it.
I love the shout out to Blonix. That's
I
why.
love it.
Wait, which sister in your sisterhood is the most problematic and tell us the story. I'm going home, Drew. Tonight. She taking the shot.
She did. That was a little difficult.
We're not gonna answer that one.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. I think you did good. I think
I was very bold.
Yeah, I thought you was good with the other two. Yeah. We don't want to mess up no friendships.
No, friendship, sisterhood is
Especially
very
if it's the
important.
person who I think you was going to say. I don't want to come against you. I know it might be a little turmoil right now. I heard it's a little.
Right, y'all didn't think I was going to answer those two questions?
No, you ate it all, everything, the whole interview.
No, thank you.
Oh my God, that was so much fun. I knew that you would be fine. I'm glad that everybody else is getting to experience you too. You guys have any more questions?
I do have a question. What is one moment from back from your era that you cherish in the scene?
One moment that I cherish from the scene the most. I gotta be, that's got me emotional. That's got me emotional. So I'm saying this with all sincerity. Jack Mizrahi. It was a mother. Jack Mizrahi was a mother, always has been a mother, was always a lookout, was always protective over us. And if you mean scene-wise, moments and making my big moments and just believing and knowing that Jack is always, even with his present children, and this is shout outs to you, Jack. Mother, love you. You know what I mean? But it's so present with their children and believe in them so hard and opens that door to I wouldn't be stone cold faced with the stone cold attitude if it wasn't for that night that Jack just came out of the blues out of nowhere and just stayed in Philadelphia. He said, you're coming in as Sharon Stone, bringing a movie star. And I had 2 Chanel pasties on, short little haircut as you see today, maybe a little shorter and shaggier and of course younger. But a little small mini skirt and heels, and the pasties came off, so the show had to go on. Stone. No shade, Sanaya. You said in the rap song that you were the one that created
She was the reason.
No, you remember that was the Vanessa Mizrahi.
Oh, you heard it here. We guessed that.
Okay.
You heard
You see what I'm
it
talking about?
here.
My school, what we did, and because of Sanaya, we were in a transition of creating our own alter egos and becoming. And so what I brought into Ballroom was gyrating, drama, and it changed the game in selling face, because selling face was walking straight, was very pageant, and yours truly created the space for all the girls today to just come out and right, because we're sisters. You feel me? We come from that era.
Yeah.
You don't understand what I'm saying? So, like you said, she looks like Sanaya. No, Sanaya looks like me.
You've heard it here.
So considering that you still obviously keep your thumb.
No
on-
shade to Sanaya.
No, we love Naya and everybody.
Sanaya. I love you. I love you. You were my mentor.
So,
She's definitely a reason too.
Yeah, no,
but
you
she's
know
just saying
she
not
is
that
the
reason.
Yeah,
No,
you are not this reason. But she is the reason.
So, is there anything else that you got?
yeah, I do. So being that you have
Great question, Mom.
you have your thumb on the heart of Ballroom, who are some newer girls that you like today?
Oh my gosh. Oh, today, hands down, Lola.
We had Lola, yeah.
Fortress Gucci.
Shout out to Lola.
Yes, Lord, and Giselle. That's her name, Giselle.
Shout out to Giselle.
Giselle. Oh, she's the ooh for that one. Ooh for that one. That is a prize right there. I love her. She gives me little renditions of my sister Cheyenne. Cheyenne Aphrodite. You know, I would love to say Tempress, but
I'm not a new girl.
Yeah, she's not a new girl. but you know, new for my
but they're
generation,
newer, right? But they're the generation
because you were a favorite of mine.
Yeah, thank you.
You were, and you still are a favorite of mine. You can't get on that floor without me feeling like, that's my niece.
Thank you.
You know, and you too. Let's not discredit you. Let's not discredit you. Mama, what you do, how you do, when you do, what you do.
I love that.
Don't do that.
Makes me want to shoot. Okay. Right. Oh my goodness. Look at here. It's Asia and she's coming your way.
She's coming this way.
I see your next chant.
Okay.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna say that up. Right.
Yes, that was tickling. See, we even come up with new chants.
Right, new chants. Come on, this Asia. That's our flag. Mama, you are a powerhouse. All three women on this panel like today that we sit down here, you are a powerhouse. What you are doing, you see these two icons behind y'all, you know what I'm saying? And the woman who created Ballroom, I want y'all to continue what you are doing today for them.
Oh, I ain't giving up.
We ain't giving. That's the whole purpose. So.
We ain't giving up.
I will come back next
Appreciate you.
season. The next season, I will come back again if y'all, if y'all find me a favor.
Definitely.
And we make the rating. Because it's no shade to nobody that I tried. But this is how we make it. This is how we make it.
This is how we make it hot. Yeah. Well, we loved you, and we're so glad that you graced us, with your presence. This has been wonderful, a wonderful interview. Is there anything that you want to say, to the audience, or anything that you feel like you didn't get to say before we close out?
My Instagram is called One's Naked Truth. It's called One Naked Truth because I will be coming soon with a project new soon, which I am going to be a talk show host.
Yes.
And I'm going to interview people from all different walks of life, to build bridges for our community, which is why I'm sitting here today, harmaging you guys for what you guys are doing today, because we need more of this. We need more voices. We need more impacts. We need to continue to feed our communities and our allies and our ignorant-minded ones. You know what I'm saying? That, watch, learn, listen, with an open mind, with an open heart, to continue to evolve into what we call peace and love.
Can I ask you one question before you? It's kind of advice for the audience and, of course, me. What advice would you give to the people that are in the scene that are walking now, that are part of the community? Like, what advice could you give them?
My number one target right now, right at this precise moment, and this is all jokes aside, is mental health. Check on yourself, check on your girlfriends, check on your sisters, check on your friends, first check on yourself. Love you, look in that mirror, and when you look in that mirror, be real with yourself. Tell yourself, self, I'm going through this situation for X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? And in the midst of that X, Y, and Z that you're looking at yourself in that mirror, check yourself like you would check your friend. We weren't born idiots at this
My
day
therapist
age.
told me that. I love that.
Mental health is important.
Okay,
She
check
said
on
you
yourself
check
like you check on
on
your
your
friends.
friends.
My therapist told me that. That's dope. That was a big. We ain't ended, but that was a big. That when she said that to me, because I was like, I'm always feeding into other people, and I'm always like checking on. I can tell other people what to do, but I can't tell myself. And she said, well, speak to yourself like you're speaking to one of your
Right,
friends.
right. Sometimes you got to look in that mirror.
gotta look in the
look in
mirror.
that mirror and just say self. Because I
Myself
do it.
said,
I kiki with myself so fiercely, girl. In that mirror, I kiki with myself in that mirror. I be like, girl. I be like, what's going on? But it's checking with yourself. Looking, have a phenomenal mirror. Invest on one. Invest on one. Yeah. Have you one magical mirror in that house that belongs to you? Mirror, mirror on the wall.
I love it.
So we're gonna close out. We love you, Icon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
I'm
all
humbled. I'm
for
humbled.
tuning in. Thank you again, Vanessa, for being here. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. This is our 9th episode. Oh my God! Like what a way to start to come to the end.
The finale is coming.
Yes, the finale is
season 2,
soon
we got
coming,
one more
and you
episode.
don't want to miss that either. So, like I said, like, subscribe, hit that little bell notification at the right hand of the screen, so you'll be notified when all of our episodes drop. Now and for season 2 coming soon.
Thank you for watching Crazy.
Sexy.
Cool.
Like, subscribe, and comment.
That was
Let's say it.
You gave me everything I wanted.